Hello, and today we'll continue with the news update of Memoir. If I wasn't just, if I was just in your face about it, well, I'd just be Wilf. I prefer being me. I like it when you're too. I like it when you're let yourself in. The door swings open, and the person standing in the doorway wasn't any of the candidates had been expecting when Oscar mentioned process elimination. Like, it was funny the first time, but now, who the hell are you guys? What are you doing here? His voice jumped from being casual to fighting the full of ways. All in a matter of seconds, I'm left reeling at what's going on. Approaching from behind the rat, though he looks almost hesitant to get out of the way. It is until they put a hand on their arm that he takes a step back. The owner of the voice looks to be a bat much shorter than the rat next to him. He looks to be around my height, and his bright demeanor is a stark contrast to the uneasy rodent next to him. He looks to be wearing an Everwinter varsity jacket, though it looks to be several sizes too big for him as it drapes over his body, going well past his hips. The glasses he's wearing are larger than any I've ever seen before, but they somehow seem to fit him perfectly. Maybe it's because they match the size of his ears. The necklace around his neck looks significantly out of place. It looks expensive, like a genuine piece of jewelry my mother would wear. As soon as he sees Oscar, he gives me a massive grin that shows off his sharp fangs. They're a stark contrast to how harmless the rest of him looks. It is you, and you are a friend. Wait, I think I recognize you. You're Wallace, right? Selwyn and Oscar talked about you a lot. Selwyn did? Yeah. I stayed here on Saturday night, and the three of us had a good chat. And certain weeds were kept popping up in our chat. How is that? Oh, this is Selwyn's apartment. Bingo. Honestly, I'm sorry you didn't figure it out earlier, man. We didn't have a lot of options. This this cutie right here, is Baxter in. Let me speak here. Bingo. Honestly, I'm sorry you didn't figure it out earlier, man. We didn't have a lot of options. This cutie right here is Baxter, Selwyn's best friend. Austin's comment doesn't bother Baxter, but the rat next to him rolls his eyes at the comment, sneering at the comment, but makes no comment towards it. If anything, he suddenly looks like he feels very out of place, and I'm feeling the same way. Oh, I'm being an awful host. Come on in. Sorry, I didn't really expect anyone to be coming over. Someone said he was gonna send you a text. Oh, crud. I haven't checked my phone in a bit. I've been a little distracted. Games or so. It's just that the latest episode of Greatest Escapist came out. I had to watch it before people started posting spoilers. Anyway, come in. There's enough room for everyone here. Baxter leads us into an apartment, putting a hand on the rat's stomach as if he's pushing him along as well. I expected there to be some restraint from him, but he just goes along with whatever the bat wants. He hasn't even spoken since Baxter appeared, though if I had to guess why, from his frantic glances around, they still feeling uncomfortable exposing what's about his neck. Baxter seems to notice this too and starts to whisper something to him. I can't make out much of it, but from what I can hear, it just sounds like he's checking if he's okay. And from the rodent's grumbles and dismissive ways, it doesn't seem like he appreciates it, though he doesn't seem to be pushing him away, so that's something at least. Though this interaction seems to spark some recognition in the bat's eyes. Oh crap, sorry, I totally forgot to introduce you guys to Rex here. He's a friend. Just a friend? I didn't want to comment on that, but it looks like Oscar knows just how handsy Baxter has been with Rex this entire time. I expected him to get a little flustered at the question, but it doesn't seem to phase him at all. Where did I get that composer? Oh no, we're nothing like that. Not really. Rex, on the other hand, seems much more flabbergasted at the question, once again rapidly switching between embarrassed viewers without even muttering a single word. I'm not even sure what to make. Does he live here as well? I only really met you when I stayed here last. The other friend didn't seem too keen on meeting me. Rex? Nah, he lives at one of the flats nearby. I actually don't know which one now that I think about it. He started scanning the varsity jacket he was wearing as if it would have the answer to his question, but when he doesn't seem to find it, he looks over to Rex for the answer. Alpha Theta Pi. He barely mutters it under his breath, but that doesn't stop Oscar from chuckling as the grin he's wearing regains that mischievous hint. Of course, that explains so much. What is Alpha Theta? What's Alpha Theta Pi? It's a frat with a reputation for a very specific group of people join. Is that just a rumor, though? Well, rumors are sometimes funny when you have a place that's known for having certain people Do you encourage people like them to join? Yeah, yeah. What, you gonna rub it in my face? Gonna call me at Rex stop. These are Seven's friends. You don't need to be so worried. Plus, this isn't high school anymore. People don't care about that. No one ever really did. Yeah, right. Sorry, man. I really lost my cool there. Just getting used to all this. Hey, I wasn't meaning any harm, man. Trust me, you're very cute, especially with that little accessory around your neck. Uh-huh. His face lights up like a fireplace, and he struggles to come back with any response. His eyes darting back and forth between Baxter and Oscar, who only seem to give him a pat and a wink, respectively. I think I'm lost. Alpha Theta Pi is a LGBT friendly flat. We encourage Rex to go there because a lot of the more athletic queer guys go there. Look up at Oscar, who only returns my smile with just as glowing of a recommendation. Their parties are pretty wild sometimes, but it's a pretty chill place. But wait, do you live there too? How haven't I seen you around? It finally looks like he's managed to pull himself back together, though. There's no hiding just how much blood has rushed to his face. He doesn't even seem to be able to look at the two of us, especially Oscar. Hey, I don't tend to stay around the frat often unless we're having a party. My roommate's a bit of a stoner, so I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't even know my name. Now I want to see it even more. It isn't that great. It's a frat like everywhere else. All going there, all going there does is people is make people think you suck dick and give out free handles, and give out free handies. Do you? Rex just replies with another growl, though it's hard to take him seriously after his previous reactions. Baxter puts a hand on his arm, which has an immediate calming effect on him. So I still knew this shit. Not really used to being a fat. Not used to. Not used to so open now about all this. That's why you're wearing a collar. You make yourself feel more comfortable. It's a choker, actually. Wolf said it was pretty flaming and would be pretty hard to misinterpret. I wasn't really sure, but he seemed to think it was a good idea to try and get him more comfortable. More like trying to humiliate me, fucking freak. Oh boy. I mean, boy, do we have a friend you need to meet. Wait, you know Wolf as well? Know him. Yeah, you can say that. Me and him go way back, longer than anyone in this place probably knows each other. I thought you looked familiar, man. Did we see you on the football field the other day? Was there practicing? You bet. Yeah, probably. Both of us are on the team. Been that way since high school. He'll never leave me alone. The venom in that final sentence makes me feel like there's a lot of baggage between the two that we shouldn't get involved in. Oscar comes to the same conclusion, changes the subject. You might be able to help us, actually. How much do you know about Conrad? Oh, him? Not much. Probably the same shit as everyone else. Dude was a loner and only really talked to Nathan. I guess his Wolf knows more. How did he guess? Sounds like something he'd do. He's more predictable than he likes to think. That rarely stops him from being able to get what he wants. Yeah, he admitted to knowing something, but he said he wouldn't tell us until we figured it out ourselves. So let him get you. He likes to be an asshole. Or maybe he's just trying. Or maybe he's trying to keep it secret, like he promised. Wolf isn't as awful as you say anymore. It's getting better. You're way too nice on him. Whatever, anyway. He's a freak, but I suppose he isn't as bad as he used to be. What was he? A serial killer? Might as well be. Well, I don't think Wolf would keep information like this for himself for no reason. I wasn't kidding when I said he might be trying to keep it secret for him. You really think so? Wolf is a little strange, and I won't pretend to know what he's thinking, but he never does something without goal. Do you know what his goal could be? I don't think it's a big mystery. If it's a secret, then he made a promise to keep it, right? Maybe he's honoring it. What do you think, Rex? I think Wolf would sell someone out if it meant it would help him. But if it was something serious, then he probably wouldn't without good reason. So it was something really bad then. If it was so serious, then that he thought he had to keep it secret. It must be really mad. I don't think so. I might not think as lowly of him as Rex does, but Wolf isn't approachable. He doesn't come across as very trustworthy to others. It would have been something more personal if he didn't tell his friends, maybe something he was just ashamed of. Ashamed? Sometimes the people that are harshest to us are ourselves. You shouldn't be talking about me behind my back. I tell you, Baxter, I don't need any help. The third voice we've heard from outside is suddenly talking from behind us and turning around, though Baxter looks delighted to see him. Foster, you came out. I thought you were gonna stay in your room until they left. Foster just gives a shrug and a non-committal grunt as he lingers a distance away from us. He doesn't look like he's trying to avoid us, just trying to map us out for us. It's rare to come across frogs in this area, let alone someone with as exotic of a color palette as he does, in which red that almost looks like rubies, while his hands look to be a softer orange. The hoodie and trousers he's wearing is covering most of his skin. I'm only able to see his hands, feet, and above his neck. What truly catches my attention is the tarred expression he's wearing. I've seen many of these before. I certainly saw it in the mirror during my war days. It isn't a lack of sleep that's causing that glare. It's a lack of patience. At least he doesn't look particularly annoyed just yet, but I have a feeling he isn't very extroverted. He looks over at me and his expression changes. There's a hint of curiosity, like he's putting together a puzzle in his head. You're someone's friend, right? You know us? I heard you guys do the wild. They're not exactly thick here. His eyes slither over to Oscar, almost shocked to see someone as huge as him sitting in his living room. Even though Rex is an athlete, also puts him to shame. Certainly not as thick as him. I like this guy. Were you the one hiding away when I was over last time? Yeah, I had a feeling you were the talking type, and now be well. I wasn't in the mood for that shit. Fair enough. I'd rather be told straight up they're doing something, you know? Good, we'll get along fine then. He stares at the two of us for a few seconds longer before coming to the conclusion that it's okay to sit down as he takes a more isolated recliner sitting on it with his legs crossed. What are we talking about? We were just talking about wealth. Jesus, maybe I should go back to my room. Is that bad? I told you, you've had to deal with him a lot longer than you have. Oi, Don't put shit in my mouth. I never had to deal with him. He leaves me alone. I'm just tired of hearing you bitch and moan about him. That makes Rex sit back with a grumble, checking out of the conversation as he grabs his phone, though his ear flicks when he hears Baxter carrying on. He never really answered my question. Why are you guys here? Was it just to ask us questions about Wolf? Honestly, I had no idea you knew Wolf. We were just here to, uh, but you never told me. Also smiles like he's been waiting for me to realize this since we got here. Surely he wouldn't just let this whole conversation go just to see if I remember. I want to say it's Cell's idea, but it's a bit of both honest. After your nightmare last night, we thought you could use a hangout with friends. Lee's got some stuff going down, and I thought it might be nice to have some hanging out without all the diary shit, you know? The diary stuff. I'm doing a pretty bad job, though. What up, man? Forget it. Sounds like something I don't want to know. Bastard, when will Seven get? When will Seven be getting back? It's supposed to be his turn figuring out dinner. Probably not much longer. His message says he was only gonna be an hour or two. How long has it been? About 2.5. Fucking hell. Conversation went pretty smoothly. After that, Foster hung around with us for a little bit longer until Bassett got a text from someone saying that he was coming soon. Most of the conversation was between Austin, Baxter, and I, though as the night went on, Rex got a little more comfortable with joining the conversation, though it seemed like he was still a little bit shy after our awkward encounter at the door. We didn't really talk about Wilf on the diary again, but I couldn't help but think about what they said. Wilf would be respected. Wilf would have respected Conway's business if it was serious, and it would have been likely something he was ashamed of. Was Conway gay? That's what I've been thinking. There's also a question of why Wilf. I don't think I was entirely wrong about it being because he wasn't too close nor too far, but there must be something else. Maybe it's related to Wilf, or maybe it was something he'd understand. Hey, you okay? I've been so lost in my thoughts that I totally zoned out. Currently, only Rex and I are still in the room. I think Bassett was storing awesome stuff in his room. Without Asa around, Rex looks more confident. I might have something to do with that thing he's wearing around his neck, or maybe just that they're both athletes. But he seems a lot more relaxed when it's just the two of us. I'm okay, I just get lost in thought often. I know what you mean. Bassett tells me off for it all the time, says I think too much. Really? Don't look at me like that. Just because I'm a jock doesn't mean I'm stupid. Football's complicated too. There's a lot of shit you gotta learn and memorize if it ain't dumb. So I didn't mean to imply that. No, you're fine. So I get pretty defensive. I've been trying to work on it. Since we're here, I should probably ask, but do you want me to talk to you Will for you? We go way back, even if things aren't the greatest between us. Think he talked to you? Yeah, he likes to torment me, so he talks to me enough as it is. Couldn't hurt to actually ask for something, probably. At least it wouldn't physically hurt, probably. What did he do to you? Doesn't matter. Do you want me to talk to him or not? It's tempting to trust me, but I don't think so. I think Baxter's right. I just need to meet him on his own terms. I still think the two of you are giving him way too much credit, but whatever. There's something I want to ask you, though. Am I gonna regret this? No, it isn't anything bad. Well, not really. I probably shouldn't be asking since I'm supposed to be taking a break from it, but what did you know about Quinn? She's our biggest mystery. We talked. Sometimes she flirted with me a lot, and since I'm still coming out, I had to act like I was interested. I think she could tell, though. She didn't try to for very long. I'm surprised outside of, I wouldn't have guessed you were gay at all. Not that my gaydar is very good anyway. He flushes at the word gay, and his hand reaches up to touch the choker around his neck, rubbing it gently as if it's a reminder. I think I'm pretty hard to catch. One of the fuck, other gay guys on the term have noticed. If they did, I have wind up my ass to come out with them. But wait, not like in my ass and not like coming out as in fuck, you know what I mean. Am I stressing you out? No, this is just me being an idiot. Anyway, like I was saying, I'm not that easy to see through, but she picked up on it pretty quick. Must have a hell of a gaydar. Did you learn anything about her? Kinda, she really liked to talk about Conrad, specifically about him having a girlfriend. It was really annoying. She bringing it up constantly. The other guys acted like they cared because she was hot, but, well, that never mattered to me, I suppose. Something about that seems to feel strange in my head, but I can't really figure out what. It just sounds like she's a bit of a gossip, which wasn't too off from how Helena described her either. Except according to Nathan, Conrad was even my thoughts are thrown for a loop as I feel also lifted me off the sofa onto my feet, casting me off guard enough that I let out a very girly yelp. The only upside is that it must have looked funny because Red shows the first smile seen from him yet. He looks a lot better with it than his usual uncomfortable scowl. Oscar's hand leaves my hip in such a sudden way that it must be because he realized that he was holding me, though the fact that he's able to touch me for a bit, even just a moment, has to be progress. I can tell someone is breaking. It's not that serious. I just have some theories about how things and who knows if they're right. Don't stress about it, man. A part of me really wants to push because it's annoying having him hiding his thoughts from me, but I know that's an unreasonable thing to ask. Playfully, bonking the top of my head, both by the accent itself, but mainly because he uses his actual hand for it. I can see him stifle. I can see him stiff as he does, but he doesn't look that smile. I told you, no more self-deprecating, man. Not around me, at least. Sorry. I mean, not sorry. I'm bad at this. That's my job to help you learn. His words are comforting, but something about them make him look nervous all of a sudden. Red peeks through his short fur easier than most, making his following laugh much cuter. Just like it's your job to help me with, you know. Of course, I slide my hand over to his own, but I don't make the final movement. I give him an opportunity to claim it himself, which he does after barely any contemplation. Seems like you are making progress at least. You think this is fast. Man, you need to come see me at the competition. Then you'll truly see me fast. Very funny. Or he shuffles a little closer to me on the bed, not enough that we're directly touching, but enough that I can feel his immense body heat coming off him. I can show you another thing I'm good at. I wouldn't say I'm fast. Well, not in the way that people don't like. But wait, what are you talking about? We both know exactly what I'm talking about. Are you sure? Last time it didn't go particularly well. Not my finest moment, but I think I just jumped in the deep end too fast. Not that I'm used to that, but sometimes it's a bad idea, you know. Maybe this time we should listen to your advice. He leans him, he leans he leans him close enough that I can feel his legs tense and his hand gripping mine tighter, but also enough that his breath against my neck makes me stutter. We could go a little slower. If you're sure, I don't want to make you feel like you have to. It's opposite. Actually, I want to. You have the right idea. I need to get more comfortable, and I want to do this. I want to be closer to you. I think it'll be a little easier this time. I know what I'm doing this time. Okay, I trust you, but promise me you'll stop if you start feeling if you start feeling uncomfortable. Trust me, I know where I'm at my limit. My worry is making sure you reach your limit. I think I might pass out. Not until I'm done with you. Okay. I start to unbutton my shirt when his hand stops me, reaching over at a nearly frantic speed. I left stunned, unable to do anything but wait for his explanation. Shit, sorry. I just think you should keep the clothes on. When we're doing this, I think it'll make things easier. It will? It'll be like a physical barrier between us. Makes it feel less intimate, right? I'm kind of playing this by ear, but I think the intimacy of being naked in bed together was the main reason you know, how do we do this with clothes on? Never done, I've never really done much before, let alone something like this. Oh, that's the fun part. I might be doing this for actual reasons instead of kicking ones, but trust me, this can be real hot. Just imagine what being clothed implies. Doing something we're not doing something we're not supposed to do. Not too far from the truth, ain't it? Who knows if this goes well? Maybe I can show you the true benefits of having sex with clothes. What's that? He leans close to my ear, and I have to squirm to make sure he doesn't see the tent I pitched. His chuckle that makes my chest clench makes me think it was a pointless effort. Just how spontaneous it can be. Never know when I could just pull you somewhere people can't see you in. A huff of hot air against the back of my neck makes me let out a squeak, interrupting his pillow talk, though from the massive smile on his face I think it was intentional. Don't worry, I doubt we'll do anything that for a long time. Just thought I'd get your blood pumping. Should we get into it then? I wish. I'm guessing you've never had to prepare before. Prepare? Ooh, yeah. Now this might take a while. Just don't get embarrassed, okay? This is normal. I don't know how he expected me to not get embarrassed. He was patient and made sure I was comfortable the whole time, making sure I had privacy whenever I needed it. But that doesn't mean it wasn't the most humiliating thing I've ever done my whole life. But after I figured out how to do it, it wasn't the worst thing. It wasn't the worst thing in the world, even if it took way longer than I would have wanted. He said it'll be a little faster next time, but the fact it took nearly 2 hours doesn't give me too much hope. Once we get back, I can't help but squirm a little as I walk. I never had to clean myself back there before, and it feels weird. I also made some teasing comments to lighten the mood. I apologized when they didn't land. I'm just nervous all of a sudden. It was so easy the first time, but I had the feeling we weren't doing anything too in depth the first time. Hey Wallace, it's always a jarring moment when Oscar addresses me directly, especially when his voice is so quiet and gentle. He takes a step forward but doesn't fully come close enough to be comforting. Are you sure you're okay with this? You look a little nervous. We don't have to if you feel like this is going too fast. No, no, I'm okay. This is all just new territory for me, but I want to do this. I'm excited, really. Promise. I promise. Good. He starts taking off his shirt. It's slow and allows me to see those tight muscles that's been relentlessly teasing me with over the last week. I'm about to ask why he's undressing when he motions for me to get on the bed. His shorts still very much on. His pants are feeling very tight all of a sudden. Follow his instructions. I lay down on the bed, bracing myself on my aims as I want him climbing behind me. He wouldn't tell me what I was doing, only that he'd stop if I wasn't uncomfortable. He said it's a surprise, but something he liked to do, something he was very good at. We stayed there for a moment, close but still physically disconnected. After a short time, he reaches over to my ankle but hesitates. There's no need for either of us to rush, and his trembling hand makes it clear that this is a big step for him. I like to say comforting words, but a brief glance in my direction feels like a silent signal to let him be. This was his moment to conquer. With his face flushed and his resolve strengthened, he grabs my ankle and hoists my leg up in the air. I push back down into the bed as my entire upper body slithers into the air. My other leg flails for a moment before it's grabbed by Oscar's other hand. He holds them in a firm grip, keeping the two of them spread enough that I can catch his face, but he isn't as nervous as I expected. He's wearing that massive grin that eludes confidence. I thought the skin-to-skin contact might be too much, but then I catch that he's carefully making sure to only touch my pants. I think being able to keep this level of finesse would be difficult, but he's making it look easy in the way he's staring down at me with those eyes. It's hard to to contain my excitement no matter how embarrassing it is. We're gonna have to skip this part because there's a scene where basically what happens is that Oscar put his tongue up Wallace's, he licks Wallace's anus and he sticks his tongue in it. So that's what the scene is. So we're gonna go ahead and skip it. My body feels exhausted as Oscar helps me out of my uncomfortable position. I hadn't realized just how much my neck had started to hurt until now my spine wasn't doing much better. As I'm helped to my feet, having to catch myself on the bedside table, as my trembling legs prove unreliable, stretching out only serves to force me to let out a painful groan as everything clicks back into place. If this is how I feel after all, if this is how I feel after only this, I might need to do some stretches before we go any further. I'm just lucky I'm so naturally flexible. This could have been much worse. I can still feel the aftermath of everything we did covering in my fur, both mess caused by him and myself. I can't meet Oscar's eyes, but I know he wouldn't be the type to judge how I look, but it still makes me bashful. He says something, but I'm finding it a little difficult to focus as a wave of exhaustion flows through me. It is difficult to figure out he's bringing me to the saddles again to clean up once he grabs our towels again. Despite how much contact just occurred between the two of us, Oscar looks elated and satisfied, even though he didn't get any release of stimulation at all. I guess he really enjoyed getting me off. There's still some tension throughout his entire body, but at this point, it's hard to tell if it's because of his unfulfilled desires or if that fear has started to creep up on me. He is licking me with his hand. It's only our hands intertwined, but after everything we just been through, it feels simply amazing to be so comforted. One of this is what those movies meant when they said aftercare. I hope we can do more next time. The sour already serves to make me more and more drowsy. I would have passed out in here if it wasn't for Oscar's constant chatter and the stall next to me. It's always that he's just doing so to make sure I'm doing okay. And I appreciate that, but it's hard to want anything other than rest. Just cleaning myself feels like it's taking the rest of the energy I have. I can't quite tell if this is because of what we did alone or if my body is just exhausted due to everything happening. But I can't help but feel relaxed after all the stress lately and the negative thoughts that have been swarming my mind. Even today, this was a wonderful break. The little shocks and pleasure I feel when I touch specific places excites me too, even if I'm well beyond being able to sate any growing urges. By the time I'm fully cleaned, I'm leaning against the wall, barely conscious. I hadn't even realized that Oscar had stopped speaking when did that happen? It must have finished up and went back to my room. Except I don't think he'd do that. He'd been so attentive to me over this last hour, I can't imagine he stopped right before the very end. I push those thoughts away, not wanting to ruin this wonderful afterglow and upcoming sleep that I know will be the best I've had in potentially years. But also, but as I feel the water souring me, I can't help but feel a glowing sense of uneasiness. I try to shake it off, pushing my head under the rushing water, hoping to clear away the bad thoughts. The overwhelming roar of water is all the stimuli I'm able to comprehend, and there's something familiar about the sound. It sounds like, wait, I slammed my hand down on the nozzle, stopping the water before I could let that thought fully form. I really didn't want to deal with that right now. Oscar? Now I'm left in an empty shower room with only the dripping of water off of my fur to keep me company. That sinking feeling I've been feeling continues to rise, and I keep hearing that sound. Now that the water's off, I can hear it clearly, and that only serves to make my blood turn to ice. We're nowhere near the beach or the docks or anywhere that sound should be. Without even grabbing my towel, I saw myself out of the shower, nearly tripping on the curtain, but the sight only confirms my worst fears. I'm not in a I'm not in my apartment building anymore. I don't recognize this room, but I can tell exactly where I am. I've seen it enough over the last few days to be certain. But I wasn't sleeping right. Did I somehow fall unconscious in the shower? Am I currently sleeping against the wall? Oscar, are you here? Nothing replies. Searches the room. I can't find my clothes anywhere. My towel is missing, as well. At least this room seems to have its own towel in it. This room, this entire room feels like a personal bathroom you get in a hotel, and the embroidered logo on the towel only serves to promote the idea that I can't make out the company. It's not that I don't recognize it, but more that I'm struggle. I'm struggling to make out the logo at all. It doesn't look like anything I've seen, or more accurate, I can't comprehend what I'm seeing. What the? But I don't have the time or answers to figure out what's going on. But I only goal right now is to figure out exactly what's going on. I tried everything I could to wake up. I dumped water on my head again, and I even pissed myself, but nothing worked. I considered clawing my arm, but I'd rather not deal with the consequences of that. Quickly drying myself so I wouldn't slip on the tile floors, I wrapped the towel around my waist before leaving. Similar to the previous room, this one feels eerily familiar, but when I try to remember what I experienced in my previous dreams, it's almost like static is covering them. Nightmares have the habit of lingering in my memories, but now that I need them, they escape me. But there's one thing I remember. There's a reason I don't want to stay here too long. Something will eventually come, but what? Not wanting to investigate the room, I went out into the hallway, only to nearby slip, but only nearly slip, but I'm able to steady myself on the door frame. For a second, I thought I had dried myself well enough, but then I noticed that the entire floor was drenched in water. Water seems to be dripping down from the walls and ceiling, reminding me of when Arthur and I explored the hospital together. That both fills me with dread as well as hope. There might be a chance that Arthur's in there with me. It's a slim chance, but something tells me that it's true. He promised me, after all, if I was in danger, even if I was in a dream, he'd come save me. I know he'll keep his word. While there's still that distinct familiarity to this place, it feels different than my vague memories can recall. If this is a dream, it's almost like it's accelerating. The floor only looks the floor only looks to be soaked, and there doesn't seem to be any signs of flooding just yet. But something whispering in the back of my head tells me that won't last long. I'm about to move forward when I hear a distant thudding of an unfamiliar fear shoots through me. If there's one thing I remember from my dreams, I'll always be alone. But as soon as I see it around the corner, I feel an overwhelming relief that nearly makes my legs collapse under me. The exhaustion I've been feeling before of this all the suddenly returns that I feel darkness starts to take me. I don't feel an impact of cool water against my skin. All I can feel is a cocoon of warmth. Consciousness starts to return to me as I feel myself rocking back and forth. For a moment, I thought it was caused by whoever was holding me, but I quickly noticed the water below us squishing as well. The gravity is shifting ever so slightly. Hey, you awake? Yeah, just put me back down. I'm starting to feel nauseous. Alright, careful, this place is a little unstable. As I put my foot down, I thought he was just meeting the gravity, but I feel the ground beneath me shift with my weight. It's barely noticeable, but it's enough to bring my awareness back to the full. You here? How are you here? Isn't this a dream? I told you, didn't I? I come to save you. A part of me was happy that my faith had been rewarded, but that's almost overwhelmed by exasperation. This isn't the first time to be joking about that. Where are we? A cruise ship, probably. A cruise? Well, calm down. You're gonna faint again. If you can't keep, if you keep doing that, you need to stay calm. Also, are you kidding me? This isn't the time to stay calm. We're, yeah, we're in my nightmare. This is what I've been seeing. This has been what you've been seeing every night. This place. There's a sadness to his voice that I hadn't been expecting to hear. I can't tell what it means, but we really don't have time to discuss things right now. We need to find a way out of here or to wake up or something. Well, do you have any ideas? You're the dream master here. The what? This is your dream, right? Shouldn't you be in control of it? Maybe you can, teleport us back to safety or whatever. This is my dream? That makes sense, but that doesn't really feel quite right. I don't think I've ever been in control of this place, not once. But I have to try something. Focusing on the thought of us being somewhere safe or turning this dream into something positive like that intimate moment we just shared. But nothing works, and all I do is start to make my head hurt. Real pain that throbs like a heavy reminder that this is real. I don't think that's going to work. That would be too easy, wouldn't it? Well, how did we get out of here last time? We found a door, right? Yeah, Lily found a door that looked different from the others. Maybe we need to find one of those as well. Or maybe just an exit to the ship. Leave the ship. Leave the dream. Sounds like a good idea, right? It couldn't hurt to try, but where do we go? How long was I out for? Not too long, just a couple minutes. I've been walking the opposite way I came from. Didn't look like there was anything there. There wasn't? There was just a few rooms and not much else. I started to come this way and I ran into you, totally intentionally. It's a small joke and while I wanted to chastise him some more, I can't deny that any sense of levity is welcome right now. There doesn't seem to be any impending danger, but this water keeps coming and there's only so much room inside the ship for it to go. I don't want to wait and see what happens if it adds too much. Oscar doesn't argue. We start to explore the ship together, walking down what feels like an endlessly long hallway. I can't tell if this is just a really fancy cruise ship with a massive selection of rooms, or if there's something else going on here. There's not much time to ponder that when we reach an intersection with different ways, one of them only seems to continue this hallway with no end in sight. We quickly disregard that one. The other two look to lead to different areas of the ship, but I can't find any signs indicating where anything is. There's usually a map or something to find. There's usually a map or something to help you find your way, right? Archie had been uncomfortably quiet. Whenever I looked at him, he seemed to be doing fine, but he didn't make any effort to fill the silence, not like how he did in the hospital. Should we just pick a way to go? Maybe we should go to the left. I remember seeing somewhere you should always stick to the left when you're lost. I don't think we should go that way. I don't think it'll lead anywhere we want to go. You think? Just a hunch I have. I expected him to go on or laugh way with a joke or even a smile, but he just looks distracted by where we are. It's not like I can blame him. This is a lot even for me, and I've been dreaming about this place for days. This is the first time he's here, but something in my gut is screaming at me like I'm missing some puzzle piece. I'm about to resign and follow Oscar's instructions when I notice something down the path Oscar said to avoid. There was something floating just above the carpet. The floors look to be sunken lower than the rest, and there's even little puddles forming, but I have a feeling I know exactly what that is. Moving around Oscar, I feel that I start to head towards that white piece of parchment that seems to wake him up because he seems shocked that I'm knowing what he told me, but he quickly sees why. Is that? But I ignore him as I bend over to pick up the drenched piece of paper, shivering as both of my feet are submerged in ice cold water. I can feel Oscar start to move towards me before something makes him start, something makes him stop, but I try to ignore whatever's happening around me as I focus on the paper. The ink is starting to run and the words are beginning to lose their legibility, but it's still readable right now, and I'm right now in that handwriting I wouldn't mistake no matter what. It's Helena, and it looks to be about Conrad. If the frantic writing is anything to go by, this might be why she was Wallace. I hear the sound of water splashing as Oscar rushes towards me, but that's the last thing I can perceive before I fell before I feel it. The ground beneath me groans and breaks away, plunging me into the water below. There had been no way to know that the previous floor had been entirely submerged already, but I can feel myself swept away by the current. Wait, why is there a current in here? I thought the water would be mostly still, right? But as I feel myself being dragged to an entirely different area at the ship, I have no idea how far it takes me before I can get myself back under control. I struggle to fight against the current as it continues to pull me, as if the water itself refuses to let me go, and it isn't until I feel something grip my hand. Holding on to for dear life, I can feel whoever is on the other side start to pull me to what I can only assume to be the surface. Is a battle against the unending ferocity of nature. But with enough strength, my hand emerges and I pull along rather shortly after. I crawl onto my knees and cough up all the water that had forced its way into my orifices. My entire face feels like it's burning and my ears are beyond clogged. By the time I feel like I've gotten all the water out, the puddle below me is discolored with mucus, and I want the puddle below me is discolored with mucus. Where I can only pray is discolored. Well, not wanting to focus on that disgusting disgustingness in front of me any further, I get back to my feet, dizzy but alive. I lost my towel, but that was hardly a worry by this point. Thanks, Oscar. I thought I was gonna drown. Do you know where? My mouth dries as I see who had really pulled me out of the water, and it wasn't Oscar. I take a cautious step back, my foot plunging into that sick, filled puddle as I fail to comprehend what I'm seeing. Floating in front of me is a blue figure with a subtle glow. Coming from it, there's a little to no distinguishable features, just an amorphous mass that looks to have taken a bipedal form. There's nothing natural about it, and I can feel my urge to escape growing stronger, but something about it makes me want to stay. I can't tell if it's more of curiosity or maybe I can't tell if it's more of curiosity or because it saved me, but I can't bring myself to run away. What are you? But it doesn't reply or make any effort to communicate back. It just floats there, observing me. I take a closer look at it and start to feel something nagging me at the back of my neck. This feels familiar, and I can't quite figure out why. For a second, I thought maybe it's because this resembles an author that it might be reminding me of Oscar, but they still look nothing alike. Where have I seen this before? I can place my finger on it, but no matter how much I stare at it, That familiarity doesn't disappear, but one thing's for certain, it isn't hostile. The creature only stares before turning and floating away. I thought it might be leaving me alone, but after a few moments, it turns and motions for me to follow. Everything about this situation says I shouldn't trust the ghost jellyfish looking thing, but it did save me, and from the looks of it, it seems to know something I don't. There's no word spoken between us as we walk. I have no idea what I could, prob- what I could possibly say, and I'm not even sure that it's even capable of speech. I can't see a mouth anywhere on it. These hallways, they look similar to the one Oscar and I were in before, but even more waterlogged before. All furniture had been broken or swept away. I can't even tell if this is the same floor or not. The whole creature pulled me out of doesn't look to be the same. Does look to be the only one, as I can see plenty of them bursting out of the floor and even some coming through the walls. Whatever this place is, it looks to be falling apart quickly. Something I'm certain wasn't happening in my dreams. I checked the page once again. I checked the page again once I was surfaced, but most of it had been destroyed and ripped to shreds. The little that remained was completely unreadable. I completely disregarded all caution when I was over to pick it up, and now I don't have anything to show for it other than a bruised ego. The creature starts to stare at me, almost like it could tell what I was feeling, but it made no motion to comfort or console me. Thank you for saving me. I don't know what would have happened if you didn't help. No answer. Not that I had been expecting one, except that it doesn't move towards me until it's right in front of me. I expected to feel some kind of warmth coming off of it, but there's only that same cold chill the rest of this nightmare holds. It tilts his head before circling around me, almost like an excited child. Well, what really catches my eye is the way it moves, almost swims through the air. I'm about to ask what it's doing when something catches its attention. Their head suddenly starts to one side and all its fluid motion freezes in place. What's wrong? The reply it gives doesn't fill me with confidence. With confidence, it lifts one of its limbs pointing towards whatever it had been staring at. It wants me to go towards it. Before I can protest or question why, it slides down into the one of the gaps on the floor, sinking deep into the rushing water beneath us. Alone with myself, trying to see inside to see if it's okay, but there's no sign of it anywhere. I can't tell if it was swept away or even if never was there to begin with. It's gone, and all I can do is follow its instructions. It saved me, right? There's no way it would be endangering me now. But what was it? And why was it helping me? All I can do is trust it. The walk was barely a minute before I hit a corner and rounded it. I had to hold back tears of relief as I can see Oscar trudging his way as fast as he can through the water. He catches sight of me right away and weighs me down. A mix of relief and pride covered his face. He was completely drenched from head to toe and looked exhausted. Look at you. Baby, you're the real competitive swimmer. That was a pretty nasty rapid. I tried jumping in after you, but I couldn't catch up to you. I must have gone the wrong way or gotten turned around. I'm sorry I couldn't save you. No, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have been so reckless. The floor was clearly suspect, but I got so excited seeing that page and I endangered myself. You didn't do anything wrong. Still, it's my job to save you. I promised you that, didn't I? Well, aren't you saving me now? I'll try my best to. Let's get you out of here. Okay, but where do we go? Maybe we should try. He's cut off as we both look down the hallway next to us and see what should be a welcoming sight. There's a giant door that looks completely different from the others. This doesn't look like one that would lead into a room, but something connected to the hole itself. I think that's the exit, Oscar. Look. "Oh, look at man, don't worry." I had expected him to be as excited as I was, but he just looked tired. Now that we're at the exit, everything that had happened must be weighing on him. There's no other reason he'd be acting this way when seeing her. The two of us walk over to it before a rumble echoes through the ship, and a tremor nearly takes me off of my feet, but also manages to keep me steady. What was my but my question is answered with a roar, and the distance steadily growing louder and closer with every passing second. Austin doesn't hesitate for another second before grabbing me and hoisting me onto his shoulders, wasting no time running towards the door. I'm forced to grip onto his neck as he lets go of me to twist the valve to open it before, even as I watch his biceps bulge, he doesn't look to be able to make any progress. He doesn't let up for a moment, and I can hear the metal groan as he applies more pressure. I don't know which is going to break first, the valve or him being at this rate. The war will reach us before a victory is decided. I already knew what was coming, but the distant splashing only contains it, and I watched Oscar gritting his teeth, twisting his whole body to try and make his buds. Everything starts to feel hopeless until the valve twists and the door bursts open, sucking the two of us out in a single moment. I must have hit my head on the metal frame of the floor because I'm surrounded by darkness once again. By the time I can feel myself returning to lucidity, my head is pounding. As my eyes start to focus, I can make out what looks to be my room around me while Oscar looms over me, watching me carefully as I feel his hands touching all over me. Once he sees my eyes flutter, he lets out an almost manic laugh as all the tension pours from his body. "Holy shit, you really had me scared there for a second, man. You doing okay?" "I'm doing okay, I think. My head really hurts, and I think I just had another one of those awful nightmares." Yeah, about that. I already know what he's going to say. And it's almost relieving to know that I'm not totally crazy. There's no way this could have been just a dream or some drug trip. "So you remember being there with me?" "Kinda wish I wasn't, but if I wasn't, who would have saved you?" "Did we wake up here?" "I don't think so. I don't even think I woke up here. When we went through that door, we landed on the sour floor. I think you might have hit your head or something. Definitely feels like it. Do you want me to get you an ice pack? You might have a concussion." "Is that bad?" "It's not the end of the world. I'll monitor you and make sure you're doing okay. Right now, you just need a rest. If we're lucky, and it's nothing, and we can just go about our day. If I see some bad signs, we might have to make we might have to take you to the nurse's office." "Wait, the university has a nurse's office?" "Man, I really need to give you a real tour of this place. It'll save you a lot of hassle." It happened again at the hospital. "I know. Can we not talk about it right now? You're pretty messed up, and I'd rather focus on that, you know. We can talk about it tomorrow, I promise." "First thing in the morning?" "Only if you don't have classes, I might be irresponsible, but that doesn't mean you should be too." "Okay, my headache is already going down, so that's probably a good sign though, right?" "An amazing sign. Come on, let's get comfy. I'll stay up for a bit longer to make sure you're doing good. You get some rest." A part of me wants to argue and push to talk about this, begging to not sweep this under the rug, but this time I know he's right. We need to make sure I'm okay first. I expect him to move over to the other bed and keep his distance like the previous night, but this time he slides an arm underneath me and pulls me right up against him. It's warm and comforting, just like it was before we had to keep our distance. There's still tension in his body. I can see his hands tremble, even if he tries to hide it. There's no need to push my luck. I'll just let him maneuver me as he feels comfortable, especially as I feel my pounding head beg for darkness once again. Despite the awfulness that just happened right now, at this very moment, I feel safe. Thank you for playing the latest build of Violent Memoir. This update was a long time coming and took a lot longer than I expected it to. As you can see, it was a pretty large update with a lot to do in a single day. We met a bunch of new characters and got a bit of insight as to what we're going to be focusing on next. Speaking of next, the next update will obviously be Lucas, so any fans of his will be excited. If you have anything you want to report, please let me know on our post or our Discord's feedback link. As usual, don't forget to follow our Twitter for updates and announcements. We have a Discord for Violent Memoir. Find a link to it in our page on Twitter, Itch.io, or click right here. Thank you for playing, your patience, and your support. Alright, that was Austin's update for now. There are a lot of spelling and grammar issues in this build. You got two words appearing at the same time, and you got one word sewn twice, and then you got one word that was put there by mistake. It was actually meant for another word. So I think the dev or the people whoever works on this game should try to look back, or maybe get somebody to look through this update and change the text, because there's a lot of spelling and grammar errors, and it's a little chore for me to go through. With no disrespect to the creator. Anyway, otherwise, I enjoyed this update. We got to meet some new characters, and the big tall rat or mice. He seems to know quite a bit about I got that guy's name, but he's kind of like a snappy guy who's on the football team from earlier in Oscar's route. He seems to know him some, and he was kind of, and this tall rat was kind of shy at first, but as time went on, he got to be more talkative and snappy. But he did apologize, and that he's just now coming out as gay, and the fact he stepped out the F word, the F word slur, faggot. He must be very new to this. Coming out as gay. He probably was gay for a very long time, but he just tried to act all straight and act like he very much disapproves of being gay, to the point where he's still kind of used to using the F word, and he's still trying to get accustomed to being publicly out. Met the others, like the one with the big glasses, he's real nice, and that other guy, he's kind of snappy or cranky, and just wasn't quite as interested in meeting Oscar and Wallace, but hey, he's alright too. So so that entity at the end there could be a ghost, could be an angel, could be something supernatural, or I don't know. It certainly wasn't hostile, because it got Wallace back to safety, and plus the music that was on, it was uplifting music, like positive uplifting music. So whatever this thing was, it wasn't hostile, and could it be the soul of the deceased person? I don't know. I can't help but think maybe it might be the soul of a deceased person, and I don't know if it could have been somebody who was on that that I don't know if it's somebody that might know Wallace, because it's the same figure that helped save Wallace while he was deep under the pool in the gym. You know, back when Oscar tried to took him out to the gym to have a good swim. You know, in the last video. Yeah, it's the same one. So I don't know if some angel or a ghost or a soul of a deceased person. I have no idea where it is, but it's certainly not hostile. This is good. Alright, so that was the new update for Oscar. Certainly, whenever another update comes out for Oscar, I'll play it. You know, since it rotates among characters, it'll probably be a while till we get back to Oscar, because the next update is for Lucas, then probably for Lee, and then sometimes a lot of times the creator of this game might do two back-to-back updates for one character, or two back-to-back updates for the other, and one character only gets one update. Lately, there's been plenty of updates for Lee and a lot of updates for Lucas, but there haven't been much for Oscar, so I don't know when the next time we'll get an Oscar update. You know, Lee, especially Lucas, they seem to get the most updates. But anyway, whenever Oscar gets an update, we'll cover that. Alright, so thank you all very much for watching. Goodbye.